Hey y'all, I'm Angela, and this presentation is about different inclusion strategies that we can use in the classroom setting. Using different means of representation means that you present the content to your students in different ways because everyone learns differently, so you gotta be aware of that and use visual, graphics, verbal, auditory, so students can learn based on their learning styles. Breaking down instructions into smaller pieces means that instead of giving them one task, you're going to break it down into small pieces and steps. Like instead of telling them, go wash your hands, you're going to be, go ahead and turn on the water, get your hands wet, apply soap, rub your hands together, rinse your hands, and dry your hands. So that's going to make them easier for them to understand the process and the task. Using toys as a positive reinforcement is a great way to increase the likelihood of a behavior to happen, and parents and teachers can work together to pick 3 to 4 toys for the children to use and play, and it can be used in the classroom, at the house, or any other setting that the children is at to increase those behaviors. Like I said before, we all learn differently, and every child is different in their own way. So they may have difficulty in one area, but they excel in another. So as educators, we must understand their way of learning and use different multisensory strategies like the sand or shaving cream writing. This allows the student to use sight, touch, and sound to connect letters and their sounds instead of just writing with a marker or a crayon. And this will give them a more hands-on experience too. Visual cues for students with ADHD are so useful. Me personally, I struggle with ADHD every day and I get distracted so easily and forget about things. But using a planner and having those visual cues just helps me get through every day. So it's the same with children, just having those visual things that they can look at and remind them about rules, about schedules, about activities going on in the classroom will help them stay in track and know what's coming next. Hearing impairment can cause delays in receiving learning material, and some students can struggle with this every day. So as educators, we must motivate them to sit in front of the classroom or ask for help, and also provide reading materials to supplement all lectures. So that means giving them the instructions not only verbally but also written. So maybe use the whiteboard to write down the instructions or the activities so children with hearing impairment can feel included as well. Teachers can support children with speech and language impairment by simply speaking directly to them, being patient when they're trying to speak, since rushing them may result in frustration, using gestures that support understanding, even though sometimes we might not understand, but just giving them a soft smile, nodding your head for yes or no, providing assistance, and provide positive reinforcement too is a great way to support these children and help them grow in their speech and language development. There are different ways that a teacher can support a children with autism, but some of the ways I chose was keeping it simple when giving instructions to make sure that the children actually understands what you're telling them, avoiding distractors in the classroom, and also using the buddy system, just pairing them with someone who's not better than them but can support them and help them excel in certain areas that the children may be struggling in. For example, pairing a children with appropriate social skills and who likes to talk a lot with a child who's quiet and doesn't like social interactions as much, because that would help him learn from his peer, and actually develop those conversation skills and social skills that I needed in a classroom.